Hello, my name's Daniel G. Wilson, and this is DGAW Spotlight. Today on Spotlight, I'll be talking to Livestalk and the Bodies.
Oh, Cat!
Hey, come on.
He's part of our band.
Hey, hey, pretty. How's it going?
Hi, we're Livestalk and the Bodies, and we really like cats.
We love cats.
Oh, it's a big one.
Cats.
Big one. Okay.
Wow.
God.
What a big old cat.
You guys picked up a stray cat. Its eyes are glaring at the camera.
We saw a cat with no tail earlier. It was really cute. It was a Manx cat.
Poor cat. What?
Can you read if there's a name?
It's fine. It's probably an
Hey, kitty.
Oh, I just want to know what it means.
He's got such sad eyes.
Read it. Burns my eyes.
It's like herding cats, you know? We're so distracted.
I'm sorry.
Also, talk loud.
Okay,
Sorry.
Talk louder.
like this loud?
Oh, it is
Little bit.
loud.
Or this loud?
How loud?
That's perfect.
Awesome.
That's great.
Oh, God.
Wonderful. See you, cat. It was lovely to meet you. You can chill right there if you'd like. We're not doing nothing.
Interesting.
What a
Interesting.
cutie.
Thanks for coming all the way from Mississauga.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure, and I also got to see your interesting set. Now, I don't normally see a band with this type of setup exactly. First off, who are the Bodies exactly? Who are these bodies I hear so much about?
It's just a collection of, I don't know, friends that have been putting all their love and labor and energy into these songs that I have, and it's been slowly turning into other folks helping them with their songs and that sort of stuff, and just something sort of happened, I guess, where we're just hanging out and being musical together more.
So would you say the bodies are people you can see at the shows and then also people you don't see? Like
There's a lot of people.
We are all the bodies.
There's
There's us
lots
here
of
right
people
now.
who have contributed who you don't see.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Well, now, my next question is for you, Kevo.
Okay.
Kevo or Kevin? Kevo or Kevin?
Either's fine. Or Kev.
Kev, tell me. Lazuli.
Lazuli.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're digging deep here. Yeah.
Tell me about Lazuli and your time in that band.
Lazuli was a band I was in like 2009 until 2010 or 2011. It was maybe a year or two. I was living in Cambridge, which is where I was raised, and got into music from a really sweet punk scene there that was like high school kids throwing shows and starting their own bands, and I don't think I would be into music if I didn't experience that. And that was probably in like 2005 until 7, and then everybody moved away, so there wasn't much going on after that in terms of shows, but there was all these bands and jam halls that were full of bands. So I really wanted to play in a band, so I just started asking my friends if I could back up their songs. I was playing in a band called Nervous Wrecked for a while, playing bass for Matt Davey, and then it bled in. There was this band called Chill the Beast in Cambridge, and we played shows together. And eventually we started renting a jam hall together and just started a band called, and somehow it became Lazuli. I think we pulled names from a hat. And it was a cool experience. I learned a lot. Everyone was older than me and more experienced, so I was kind of put through the ringer. And the way it worked is we had a rotating thing, and everybody got to pick what we were. Once it was their turn, they'd pick a song, like a cover to play, or a song they wrote, or a song they knew of someone else's, and then we would all try to make parts to it. So there was lots of switching around, and I guess that's sort of when I got into switching around the rhythm section. And yeah, it was a really great experience for me. When I moved to Hamilton, I was going every Tuesday back to Cambridge, but then my car broke down, so I had to leave the band, and they kind of kept on and made another album without me, and sort of fizzled out after, and now they're all doing other stuff. JJ's doing stuff with Lowlands, and Alana Gurr in Guelph. Dave, who is in the band, Dave Fox, he's doing a bunch of stuff with Fotown Records, and he has this website called YouTube Music Sucks, and he like reviews bands and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Matt Davey is living in a tiny house in Guelph, and he writes his own songs still and doesn't show them to anybody. Or maybe there's going to be something else coming out soon under the name MD Edwards. Andrea Morrow had a kid, so she's just doing that thing and working and saving and loving her life and teaching piano. Amazing musician. And then Josh Braga, I don't know what he's up to. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's probably making some weird music and working at the same convenience store he's worked at for years because he just loves it. Yeah, that's it about Wazzy Wah.
Interesting. Speaking of your punk days, you and I share a common influence. Ian Mackay.
Ian Mackay?
Yes,
Oh,
Minor
okay.
Threat.
Maybe. I remember I was into Minor Threat when I was like 14 or 15. I've kind of, I don't know, it's nostalgic to me now, and definitely the music was influential on my drumming mostly. I liked how short the songs were, and I was into a lot of bands from that time, but Ian Mackay's alright, you know. I don't know what he's like, I've never met him. So, hey, give me a phone call, Ian Mackay. 289-788-7038.
Well, there you have it. All right, now.
Just cut out the middleman right
You
there.
suck.
Like, we don't need this person interviewing us. Just call him Kevin. Just kidding.
So, now, you have a very interesting sound. It's hard to classify.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen someone just a tag flower violence somewhere. I'm not sure.
Amazing.
Honestly, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting mix of the avant-garde, short songs, bursts of creativity, interesting instrumentation, and an interesting Greek chorus. Very interesting Greek style chorus of people.
Yeah.
How, as well as the, shall we say, very, very to the point yet interesting lyrics to chew on. Explain how you've crafted this hard to classify sound.
I think of music like food, and sometimes I think of writing like shitting, and I think that whatever comes up is kind of just what you're listening to, and over time, I've checked out a lot of stuff. I really like music. I'm a listener first, always, and I'm always trying to check out new things, sometimes forcibly so. I'll like make sure that I listen to a new thing each week just so I'm getting some new stuff in there, and yeah, there's times where I have to put albums away too, because I think I listen to them too much, and I also try to listen to stuff that challenges my hearing and just like styles that I'm not really used to. So I think it's just like a mashup of all of that somehow. And I don't think it was intentionally like, I'm going to put this here and put this there. I think it just sort of, just like came out.
It just sounds good that way.
Yeah, I mean,
It's perfect. You can't ask for anything more.
yeah, and the choir element of the, I guess, the textural element, I guess, of the music just came from an idea of trying to make a metal band that could play in people's living room without amps. So I was just trying to like push that idea so things could be more acoustic, and then I thought it would be cool to have an element of the band where we could get people in that you wouldn't have to bring anything necessarily except yourself, and it could also get people involved in the band that might not have tried bands before and are now, I don't know, seeing that how doable it is, and then it's just like getting your buds together and showing up somewhere and doing your thing. And so I think that element was an important part because it got other people involved.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Now, now I really like the polyrhythms and the syncopation. Why that? Why add that into this blend into this smoothie of sorts?
I don't know. I think again, like I don't really think of it that way. I don't think like I'm gonna pick this thing and put it in this song. I think it just sort of comes out from stuff that I've been listening to. I like a lot of polyrhythmic music. I also like a lot of simple, repetitive music. And I think maybe there's a mixture of that stuff just because I enjoy both of those styles of playing or just expression. So it just comes out sometimes. I couldn't tell you what they are though. I have no idea what the rhythms actually are. A biggest challenge of this, I think, has been trying to explain these songs to other people because it's kind of a jumbled mess.
Beautiful mess. Beautiful mess.
Yeah, something like
Beautiful
that.
mess. Now,
Polyrhythms, because that's what the universe is made out of.
what the universe is made out of.
Not anymore.
Good.
I was made out of atoms, but I'm sure there's I'm sure there's a West African myth somewhere about the universe being made of drum beats. So I'm sure I could find one. So the bodies.
This is my bodies.
How did you all get involved in this project of sorts?
I think we're just cool buds who like to eat pasta and sing songs together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevo started making us dinner, and then we would sing after.
I
Didn't
learned them with
know.
food.
It's hard to sing on an empty stomach, and like, I don't know, there's something very cathartic about eating together and then singing together. It feels very old school, very like Middle Ages type thing, but like eat, drink, be merry, sing ye joyous all together, blah blah blah, you know. It's just there's something very cathartic about it, very ceremonial. Yeah, just something. I mean, it's just fun, even if you don't think of it as particularly sacred. I mean, it's a fun thing to do.
It makes me think of training a pigeon to do like a fantastic trick. Like, you can't teach the pigeon to do the trick all at once. You like have to start step by step and like give it a treat along the way. So I feel like very slowly we were just all pigeons lured into being in a choir.
Something in
Not that it was against our will in any way, but like
something in Kevin's pasta sauce makes us better singers.
just,
I
yeah.
think it's the
Lots of
lentils.
sauce.
Like, it really was simple. It was like, hey, do you want to come sing these songs? And then like, hey, do you want to like come perform these songs? Hey, do you want to go on tour? Like, I don't know. Kevo is really good at like making sure you're able to do what you want to do, and like if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
It's cool because we just all get along, so it's like, even regardless, it's just like hanging out with your friends and having a good time. Either way, it's good. It's good. And because we're an ever-rotating group, every show and every rehearsal will be a slightly different set of faces, and we'll be like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Cool, rad that you're here. And yeah, it's just nice to meet up with friends and to sometimes have a reason to meet up with friends too, in my opinion.
Cool. Now, okay, like legit, how good is this pasta sauce?
You should come over.
Pretty good.
Join the
Just
band.
like hang out for
Ian
like
Mackay, you can come
half
too.
an
Just give me a
hour.
call.
Have some pasta.
Have some
Ian.
pasta.
I'm like,
Pasta time.
next time, hell, today I gotta try this pasta.
Yo, but you haven't tried Kevo's fancy craft dinner. That shit's the best.
Or peanut butter curry.
Yeah, the peanut butter curry.
Oh.
Oh.
I have my moments.
I feel like Thought Bubbles is just like different food.
If you like lentils in everything, like every square inch lentil, it's a good place for you. Yeah, good source of protein.
Oh, God. I'm being recruited. Now, on to more serious topics of sorts. Now, Livestalk of the bodies. You guys have a very interesting imagery. I love the flower. I love the flowers and the, shall we say, queer aesthetic of it all. I particularly appreciate even the name, the bodies. We're all just bodies in the world. Tell me, what inspires you to kind of incorporate this element into some of the lyricism, into some of the imagery, into a bit of the attitude, dare I say. what inspired you to bring in this element of queerness?
I guess for me, it's been being queer is something that I've known my whole life, as long as I can remember, and it feels like the longer time goes, the more I can find words to describe the feelings that I've already been feeling, and I feel like I've spent a lot of time in other projects, learning from other people and helping them bring their vision together, and I've been sort of working on this on the side for like, some of these songs are 9 years old, some of them I wrote just before we recorded them, but I've been working on them a long time on and off in between other projects, and I think part of what was important about this to me was the first time I was sort of leading my own thing, and because of that I felt really comfortable incorporating those elements, whereas I don't know, it felt like not just in bands that I've played in, but just in life in general, it's like there's a lot of covering that people have to do because of the way because of the way that like power and access is organized in our society, and I think that just sort of came out naturally because there was no one saying we don't want that. And yeah, the band name itself is kind of about how society makes us feel like we're disposable and that like we're not important, which is like the livestock element. It's just like something that's made for profit or it's tossed away. And the bodies is sort of that kind of vibe too, just like the disposable element of it. And it's sort of, it's not really agreeing with that, it's just sort of going against it and maybe kind of being sarcastic against it. And then the STALK thing is that there's still growth that's happening despite the adversity from that. And I think the floral stuff just came in because I like floral shit a lot. And like people, I don't know, being socialized as male is like you get in shit for showing femininity, or you're like exposed to like real violence. So I think part of that with this project is sort of like a fuck you to all that shit that has happened in my life and that like other people have had to do to just survive. And yeah, I think I just have a lot of freedom in it because no one's gonna fire me, or no one's gonna punch me in the face, or chase me down the street, or like whatever. So yeah, I'm just doing what I want, I guess. And like I pass it by friends too, and they give me honest feedback, and that's really awesome. And I think something I need to mention about it all too is that it wouldn't happen the way it's happening now if it weren't for all these people putting their love and energy into it. I would have just been probably just playing them by myself still in my room or at random shows sometimes, or I wouldn't have thought to like put together shows for it or to like make an album of it or something. So yeah. Flowers. They're sick. Take a smell. Flower violence.
I'm a fan of black roses and orchids myself.
Black roses.
Black roses, orchids, you know.
Romantic flowers.
Yeah, you
That's
post a lot of orchids on your Instagram
dark.
page.
Dark.
I'm following.
Those are cherry
Tragic
blossoms.
Oh, cherry blossoms, yeah.
The cherry blossoms are my
Yeah,
other
mix them up.
favorite. They're like that's like my favorite tree, cherry blossom trees. I've written songs about them, but enough about me. So, fascinating. So, Livestalk. Now, you have some very interesting recipes. Peanut butter and sriracha?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, why not?
It's spicy and salty and sweet.
Yeah, it's all of the things. I don't know. I'm just speaking directly about myself now. Like,
It's okay.
describe your personality. You want to be a little bit sweet, salty, spicy.
Get something quick to eat. I'll often do it in a rollie, which is just one piece of bread. So you take a piece of bread, put some peanut butter and some sriracha on it, and just go for it.
Good to go.
Or
Out the door.
jam. Like sometimes I'll just
Busy
put jam
lifestyle.
too. I feel like sriracha is like, it's more like a jam to me than a hot sauce. It's kind of
Oh
just,
yeah.
It's more like a
Yeah.
lifestyle than a food.
it's more like a lifestyle, you know?
I've always thought of it like a jalapeno ketchup, like a chili ketchup.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got that vibe to me.
But also I started using it in the curry. It was a year after that song was written, so it wasn't really about that. But it's like soy sauce, and the red chili jam stuff, and the
Not
sriracha.
jam.
You
Yeah.
mean red chili sauce?
Red chili sauce, the garlic sauce, or whatever. It's like a jam. It's a pepper jam. I don't know.
Well,
Banana pepper.
There's no jam. There's simply just no, not jam.
Bring it
Well,
back,
really
bring
good,
it
but
back.
I was like,
pepper,
so good.
peppers are fruit, so
Yo,
technically they would make a jam.
Banana, peanut butter, sriracha. I always
going
hold
for the
back whenever you say the name
Fried.
of the song. I'm like, peanut butter.
Peanut butter, banana, and
Probably
sriracha.
good to let that out.
Try it out. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't.
Maybe that's what makes you a body, is liking that.
We're turning more into a cult than
Yeah,
a band.
it's freaky.
It's like, eat this sandwich.
Instead of drinking the Kool-Aid, we're eating the sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, I want some Kool-Aid now. Some of that ice blue Kool-Aid.
We have to rescue this. Cheers to Alex. for getting
That
this.
cat's like hanging out right over there.
Yeah,
Can I
it's like
stop?
kind of watching us.
Maybe it's a
Back.
Oh, it's back to us.
Yeah.
maybe it's a
Oh.
duppy.
Can I have some water too? I'm
Maybe it's
super
a
thirsty.
yuppie?
Duppy.
Oh.
Duppy is Jamaican. It's pot Jamaican pot for ghost.
Oh, and it's hanging out under a tree.
Yeah. Maybe it's a duppy.
I
So yeah,
believe
if you have
it.
some song ideas, invite your friends over and make them dinner, and then maybe they'll add parts to it, and then maybe they'll come with you to a show, or maybe they will come with you to record, or maybe you could book a tour about it. Who knows?
Well, I kind of did that with Curry Goat already, so.
Oh, I'd come over.
There you go. Yeah, John Crow's coming to Hamilton soon. I'm stoked about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Ah.
What's going on? Okay, back to questions. Back to questions. SIBO.
SIBO.
Yes.
SIBO organized the show tonight. SIBO is an awesome human being that makes really ridiculous, awesome music, is an amazing sound person, and just an amazing person in general. I met SIBO at a show in Hamilton. It was like a folk show or something. And they were like, I really like your music, let's connect. And then I heard their music and I was like, I really like your music. And since then we've just been, I don't know, talking about stuff online and like sharing stuff with each other. And I invited Cass to a recording session where we were doing the choir parts. And they just showed up and hadn't listened to any of it before and just sort of like sang their hearts out. And that was really great. And yeah, I love SIBO. Check out SIBO.
Cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement. They are great. They are good at sound and junk. They're cool. They're cool.
Very experimental. Lots of really interesting melodies and intense lyrics, powerful lyrics, and yeah, just experimental sounds and experimenting with time and rhythm, and yeah, just really beautiful, awesome oppositional music.
Now, now you guys are on tour currently. You're on
Yeah.
tour. So how's the tour going so far?
So good.
It's fucking awesome. The coolest thing ever.
Cool. you guys are playing in weird places. Where's the weirdest place you guys have ever played? Where's the weirdest place you've ever played?
I really like that house show in Guelph we did way back. We had like the two house parties conjoined together. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a house on Neve Street, and it was with Temboy Summer and Cole and Pluto and Byron. And people just stole a bunch of pylons and closed the road off.
Yeah, they
and
stole a road close sign and closed the road off. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The best.
You guys played a clothing store recently too?
Yeah,
that was
also
last
as well.
night. It was last night. It was so good. Yeah.
How does that happen?
There's this group called A Place for Bands.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know those folks?
Yeah, I'm aware of them, but I mean like a clothing store. Like, was it a normal clothing store, or did they have like a large back room?
It was like a vintage clothing store that had all the clothes pushed to the
pushed to the sides.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly big, but it was big enough to accommodate like a bigger
Censored.
audience than you'd think. It was like a huge audience. It was, yeah, and it was a great show. The audience was super receptive,
I
and
wasn't even there.
it was a decent venue for what we were doing, which is cool. Yeah.
My Remains played. They were really great.
Yeah.
And Inland Island from Montreal played, and they're super
So
sweet.
good.
We played with them 3 times on our tour, which was really nice. Avalon sent me a message and was like, "Hey, can you help with the Hamilton show?" On I think it was near our album release. And I was like, "No, we're on tour, so I can't really help set up, but maybe we can figure out some of the shows." And we were almost on the exact same route. It was just a tiny bit different. So we played in Halifax at Radstorm with them, and that was a super fun show. Radstorm's a really amazing place.
Radstorm's amazing.
Claire's part of Radstorm. You can talk about
Very
Radstorm.
small part of Radstorm. Here you go. I don't know the history, but I think it's been around Halifax for many years, and it's in this bigger building. But it's this awesome DIY space that's like 3 groups put together. There's a jam box with equipment that you can rent out for cheap, and then there's like a venue and a stage and everything, and a zine library that anyone can sign zines out of. You can buy zines there, and then there's like in the back there's a print studio, and they run like print screening workshops, and they do artist residencies there. I feel like I'm missing something. It's just like the sweetest space, and it's not the most, like there's stairs and everything, so it's not the most accessible space, but what I like about it is that like the membership is really open, like anyone can go to a meeting, and then when you're at the meeting you get the code and you can just be part of the space. Like it's really, there's a lot of trust that goes into that, and like the people who run it just like put, like they're volunteers and they put so much fucking energy and time and love into that space, and I feel like there's a lot of bands in Halifax and they wouldn't necessarily be in existence without that space. So yeah, I have a lot of appreciation and love for everyone who's part of it. Miss anything about Radstorm?
I like that it's sober in all ages.
Oh yeah, I always forget those 2 things. Yeah, it's a dry space, which is really cool. All ages.
We're not straight edge or anything, but it's nice when young people can go to a space where just like art is being presented and no one's trying to like push booze or just like role model bad relationships with substances, or
Yeah.
and, like bars can be like that a lot, I find. Or, like bands get paid in beer and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
when they have to drive,
Yeah.
it's like, can you give them food maybe?
I remember getting paid in beer before I was actually, like, not paid in beer, but like I got drink tickets before I was actually like legal. It was really weird. I had to like give it to my friends because I was like, I'm not allowed to do this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's weird stuff.
I love Radstorm.
Yeah.
Best.
Radstorm's the best.
Basically,
Check it out,
one
Ian
of-
Mackay.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons that I moved to Halifax. And then I was part of a band while I was living there because of Radstorm. Like 100% would not have happened without that space.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes.
And
We're
now,
always hungry.
as am I, you all you recently released also an album of a large amount of songs. Tell me about the album.
It's called Coke Street. It's something I've been working on the side for like maybe 8 years. Some of these songs, or 9 years, one of them is. And there came a point where I was just like, I really want to focus on this. So I left the other groups that I was in and started demoing it with some friends. And then, yeah, the dinners came in and started inviting people over to learn the harmonies. And then we practiced them for a year and then tried to record them. And it turned out really well, I think. I mixed it for another 8 months, and that was hell because I'm not really that great at mixing. And a lot of it was recorded on different systems. So, like, the sample rates and stuff weren't the same, so there's a lot of like weird shit like that was happening. I was like, oh, I don't know like it's a millisecond longer, so like the drums don't line up and I have to move them. And but I'm pretty proud that I didn't do as much editing as I've done in the past for mixing. There was a couple songs where I just did not nail the drum part and I had to take chunks of them and put them in, but it was only one song. And the choir parts, I kind of edited in some of the parts, but there was very little editing, which I've done 4 albums now, and there's always like, we just didn't rehearse enough when we recorded, and just like, or like try to edit it, and then it makes it so bad that you have to finish it because it just sounds awful because you fucked it up and clicked save by accident and stuff like that. So there wasn't as much that this time, which was nice, but it was really hard to put it all together just because we were recording. So one of the engineers was recording on Pro Tools, and then someone else was using Logic, and then I was mixing in Cubase, and just like some of that stuff is kind of weird. And it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, but I actually don't know what I'm talking about. And there was many phone calls to friends for hours being like, how do I do this? And many YouTube searches, and somehow it's done, and I never have to look at it again. But yeah, the songs are just, I don't know, they're kind of nonsensical sometimes, but a lot of it is just, I feel like it's writing is self-care for me, and I like engaging in it, and I don't do it when it doesn't feel good. And it's been something I've been getting into for, I think I've been doing it for 13 years ago. I wrote my first song, and it feels cool to listen back on stuff that's old and listen to how shitty it is and be like, oh, I've actually kind of grown a bit, and I like it for that. And I've been excited about this album because it's been a long time coming, and I got a lot of pals involved in it, and somehow it's turned into a thing that actually performs shows, which I never thought it would be. A lot of these songs I started recording on like a 4-track cassette recorder, and just like I never thought this would happen the way it has. And yeah, we're really excited about it. I think we got like 25 people or something involved, like doing vocals, and there's some parts with horns and stuff, and yeah, I'm just really proud of it, I guess. Put it in your ear holes.
Put it in your holes.
Come talk to us. Livestalk with an stalk.bandcamp.com. You can listen to it. You can send us a message. We'll mail you shit. Ian Mackay, got my
Literally,
number.
we'll mail you shit. If you want it.
I highly recommend it. It has all the maximalism of Zen Arcade, with all the avant-gardeness of Captain Beefheart, except a little bit more sober.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah, those are
Captain
huge.
Beefheart.
Yeah, Jesus.
Jeez.
That's intense. I've listened to like Zen Arcade a lot when I was younger, and Beefheart is really cool. Yeah, I think we're more sober than Beefheart. Hopefully,
Yeah, you definitely are. Still though.
I am now.
The 60s were a very non-sober time, though. So, I mean, it's almost excusable.
Fast
in
and
that
bulbous.
The man wasn't a the man wasn't. I don't even think he was a hippie though. I think he'd be the same if he made that album, those albums. He was alive today, actually.
sense. Yeah.
I have to think about. Okay, anyway.
I'm actually more into the Minutemen from that period. Like I listened to a bit of Minor Threat and Husker Du.
Double nickels on the dime.
Yeah, all of them. I
That-
mean, all of them.
that-
I mean, all of them.
That is a maximalistic album.
Someone turned me on to them when I was 16, and I thought it was amazing because like they came from this place where it was like a bunch of angry guys yelling songs, and they were just like writing these. They're like, we're just gonna write really angular like music and put like political oppositional haikus to them and make our songs like 20 seconds. And we're
Oh,
gonna play
yeah.
the same shows, and you're gonna spit on us.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I really like that about that band. Check out the Minutemen.
Now,
I want to meet Mike Watt. Mike Watt, you give me a call. You're my hero. You're so cool.
I'm in agreement. One of the best bassists in punk, just as Robin Wright from No Means No. Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk on the bodies. Any words to the people? Any last words to the people out there, your fans? What do you want them to know?
You can make music.
Yeah.
Yeah, please make music. Also, Can't get enough of that sugar crisp.
Loud and proud, wrong and strong. That's the only rule that we have.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're supposed to sing, just sing louder. If you don't know what chord you're supposed to play, just play it louder.
Play it louder.
Yeah.
Your mind
Just
is
do it.
the limit.
People who are telling you you can't do it are full of shit.
Yeah.
And you also don't have to do it. You can do other things. You can put the same mentality to anything you want to do.
Yeah,
Just try
do
it
what
out.
you want. All those cheesy cliches.
Live your truth. Go ape.
Go ape.
Don't let capitalism get you down.
Get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
I really wanted one of you to join me.
I didn't want
I was joining you. Just a bunch of monkeys. Hungry monkeys.
This hat is made of bed of your jacket.
What a cutie patootie.
Okay then.
Jeez.
So Livestalk and the Bodies, thank you for an amazing interview.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
It was fun.
Bye.
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 Thanks so much.
Bye, Mr. Blueberry.